KBLA Talk 1580. Good morning. God bless. I'm Dominique DiPrima. This show right here is called First Things First, and my first thing every day is giving thanks to God, giving praises to God, and asking for God's blessings and the blessings of the ancestors and the elders. Happy Monday. After that, we stir the pot. We do those things that we do, which typically on a Monday goes like this. Hour one, we look local, what's going on the left coast. Hour two, we do everything. National, international, local, extraterrestrial, all that happens. Hour three, we do a deep dive on a person of interest or a hot topic. And we always invite you in. You're invited in every single hour at 800-920-1580. 800-920-1580. If you want to call, you want to chat, argue, it's all available to you. Also, we got some off-the-air conversation that happens on YouTube, where we stream every day, youtube.com, KBLA 1580, and you can talk to me whenever, when I'm not on the air or when I am, on our socials at KBLA 1580 on every platform. I am at DiPrima Radio, DiPrima. And then radio. Today we'll be talking with Dana Che Williams, getting ourselves into relationship mode. Ha 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 ha. Yep, it's the last Monday of the month, so it's Black Marriage Monday, where I'll get some tips in case I ever tie the knot again. LOL. No, it's you don't have to be married. It's for everybody, but we're just trying to we're focusing on constructive relationships. How about that? Joining me right now, he is a writer for the LA Progressive. He's got a podcast called The Conversation Live. KBLA contributor who recently now will become a KBLA weekend show host. James Farr, welcome.
Good morning, Dominique. How are you?
I'm blessed and highly favored. Congratulations to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm looking forward to Conversation Live, Altadena Rising. That's the name of the show. That's the name of the show, yeah. Every Saturday morning at 10 a.m. With a re-airing on Sundays at noon. So we're going to have some...
Well, you got a great time slot. You're right after This Is Not a Drill, a Black Lives Matter grassroots show, which is really popular for us. So you get a big lead in.
A huge lead in. And also, mic. Some pressure, right? No, nothing to shake a stick at, but I'm extremely honored, and I really want to thank you and Dr. Melina Abdullah, Brother Miles Lowe, who's my younger big brother in this space and coaching me, and of course Tavis Smiley for seeing me and seeing that there was a need for us to continue this coverage that you and I started, Dominique, with a live 3-hour remote broadcast.
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy for you. You're an experienced journalist, and you clearly have a lot to say, and I love, that we now have someone, well, Zoe Williams has, Pasadena, Altadena ties, deep ones at that, but someone focusing specifically on that, because, of course, Zoe does relationships every day.
Every day.
And they go on some deep spiritual, psychological, inner healing journey. So y'all need to check that out, Zoe Williams, every evening. But this is specifically, as you said, it's like an iteration of your podcast,
right?
But it's specifically focused on Altadena Rising and the rebuilding and all of the tragedy itself. And so that's a really good thing. I'm happy for you.
Thank you. Yeah, we want that segment to be evidence based, to be fact based, to not peddle and miss and disinformation.
I mean, that's our whole station.
Yeah, right. Of course, right. But when you look at information is so spread out right now, and folks, the common thing is I heard this or they said that. So what you're
talking about in Altadena itself,
right,
because that's true in general,
right?
But yeah, it makes sense because a lot of times with a crisis like that, rumor control is one of the biggest parts of it,
right? So provide a platform for organizers and a place to talk with electeds and kind of sift through some of their. I can't say that, it's too early, but sift through some of the stuff that the electeds are telling us and get down to the roots, the resilience, and how we're going to rebuild Altadena back black, bigger, and better. So that's the voice. And then I can do some of the Conversation Live type stuff, social justice, restorative justice, inclusion. So a hybrid of the two, but we certainly want to center Black voices.
Because DEI is not illegal on KBLA. It hasn't been banned. We don't black down. We still black. In fact, I think we're getting blacker by the day.
Yeah, just a little
blacker by the day.
A little bit more blacker, but no.
Yeah. Did I mention to you that this was like the farm team here? First things first is like the KBLA farm team. But no, I mean.
Yeah, because you've had some folks that have kind of come through here. And,
yes, and it's a blessing that Tavis looks over here and says, "Oh, you got some more good people? We'll take them." I love that so much for this station. But on the serious side, I'm pretty sure I did not say that to you. Big thank you to everyone that came out to all of the 72,000 events I did this weekend. Ashra Kwesi was packed at the Center for Black Power, standing room only. Ashra and Mary Kwesi speaking on the reclaiming our Black genius from the books in stone, and Mary Ra's presentation on the theft or the destruction of African fashion. It was really good. I couldn't stay for the whole thing because I had to be a judge at Fly Poet.
I saw you
which
posted
was wild. Who wants to judge poetry? I mean, it was a great show. Also packed. Black people were outside this weekend.
Well, they were in Pasadena also this weekend, but Fly Poets is just that fly, right? Like that is one of the dopest shows and experiences that someone can have.
I had never been to Redondo Beach. I don't think I'd been to Redondo Beach Performing Arts Center.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Yeah, it's really nice
beautiful
facility.
Wow, that's a very nice place. But yeah, folks were out in mass in Pasadena over the weekend for the NAACP, what is the 56th annual Image Award. So yeah, we was outside shining this weekend.
And how was the parade? Well, it wasn't a parade. Black History Festival.
Oh, okay. I'm like, no, the festival was incredible. I mean, it really had a jovial spirit. There was plenty of free food.
That'll give you a jovial spirit.
Resources were there. Really good resources that people needed, informational resources. Pastor Jonathan DeCure from Victory Bible Church, who also is Audrey Day's music director, curated a lineup of some local performers, but these folks are Grammy nominated: Angie Fisher, Asia Marie, Aretha Scruggs, Candace Lacey. I mean, these people have such a catalog. They tour professionally with many artists or the studio musicians. So when I say it was a show, it made me have to step my game up as the MC, but we had such a good time.
Oh, good. Well, congrats. I know it was a much needed relief after the constant bad news for many of the residents of the Altadena, Pasadena area. So it's nice that there was a festive day. I think the MLK Day Parade, which was actually President's Day this year here, also had that vibe of just like, okay, fires, elections, let's have some fun for a change. Right, so that was really nice. It was nice to see. And, of course, the African Focus Trailblazer tour meeting with Farr. I'm sorry that you can't go with us actually, but we're taking you with us virtually. And we're going to be posting and we're going to be broadcasting from West Africa this year.
Are you going to Ghana?
That's one of our destinations, yeah. Last year we did East. The year before that we did South. Now we're going back West. So it should be quite a journey. And you're coming with us on an audio-visual tour, even if you're not setting foot on a plane. So all that
I can't wait.
Forward to, yeah.
You got room in a carry-on?
Maybe, yeah.
I can hold a mic or something.
That's Miles's job.
Well, I can hold the cord. Create the economy, right? Like Miles needs help. His hands may get tired, but
they might.
Yeah, but that is so exciting that you get to do that every year.
Yeah,
How long have you been doing it?
This is actually going to be our 8th trip.
Mm-hmm.
It would be more if we hadn't had to stop down for the Rona for a couple of years.
And who's the type of person that goes? Like
whoever wants to. Okay. Mostly Black people from California, but whoever wants to go. We do it in connection. KBLA 1580 does it in connection with African Focus Incorporated, which is a nonprofit organization meant to bring Africans and African Americans together and spread accurate information about the motherland. So it's, we have everyone from young people to retirees. And for some reason, well, probably because we go in the summer, we get a lot of teachers. But it's always an interesting group. And people tend to come back year after year when they, when they're able to. So,
well, maybe next year. Now, if my daughter accepts her full ride scholarship to college, then I can afford to go.
Wait,
next year.
Does she have any choice?
She does.
She doesn't have to accept her full ride scholarship.
Well, these. Come on, Dominique. We're trying to guide, and these kids.
No, I'm just playing. I think kids should have agency over where they're going to go to college. They got to do the work.
They ain't got signature over no account, though. I mean,
no, they don't.
Okay.
That's why I asked if she had a choice.
Yeah, well, we'll see.
College is expensive.
Indeed, it is.
And I only have one child in college at the moment. 800-920-1580 if you got something to say. We got a lot to talk about, a lot to uncover. The fire chief got fired over here in L.A., and now the pushback begins, and there's a lot of other things going on, too, on the positive side. We've got SAG Awards. We have NAACP Awards. We got progress and some research about fires east and west, which is Palisades and Eaton Canyon. Cover all that and more when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
She's reclaiming her time on KBLA Talk 1580. More First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
I have a dream today.
The road to freedom wasn't paved with just big moments. It was built day to day, step by step, voice by voice. This February, experience Black History Month through the stories that shape Los Angeles and beyond. KBLA Talk 1580, where Black history lives.
It's been said that when someone you love has Parkinson's, you have Parkinson's.
The Parkinson's Foundation knows that the disease doesn't just affect the diagnosed. It affects everyone who supports and helps care for them.
If you have questions, the Parkinson's Foundation has answers.
We can help you understand the disease
and give you tips for living a better life.
Find your answers at parkinson.org or call 1-800-473-4636. The Parkinson's Foundation. Better lives together.
It's KBLA Talk 1580's third annual Black History Month luncheon, and you're invited. This is year 2 of our climate justice work, and this year's $2 million 12-month campaign is all about linking and combating the relationship between climate and Black health. We already know that these wildfires will leave in their wake even greater inequities, including negative impacts on Black health, given the toxic air pollutants circulating in the air we breathe. So, as part of this year's climate campaign, we're honoring Black doctors and leaders in healthcare at our annual Black History Month luncheon, Friday, February 28th at noon. If you would like to join us, just go to our KBLA 1580 website and register for your chance to be our guest at the luncheon. We'd love to see you. And in case you haven't heard the news, KBLA Talk 1580 was just named one of the semifinalists for the American Climate Leadership Awards 2025. Caring about the climate, caring about the community, changing the conversation. We're KBLA Talk 1580, and we don't black down.
What's that sound? That's the sound of Downy Unstoppable scent beads going into your washing machine and giving your clothes freshness that lasts all day long. There it is again. It's like music to your ears, or more like music to your nose. That freshness is irresistible. Let's get a Downy Unstoppables bottle shake. And now a sniff solo. Nice. With Downy Unstoppables, you just toss, wash, wow, for all-day freshness.
Your ancestors' favorite radio station, and your favorite morning show host. Let's get back to Dominique DiPrima right now.
Right now, we're back to me, and we're back to you at 800-920-1580. James Farr, Carl from L.A. is on the phone. Morning, Carl.
Hey, good morning, Dominique. How you doing? You and your guests?
We are excellent. How's your morning?
Oh, my morning is great. I just had some tea. Hey, look, did Kwesi, I can't pronounce it, Aqua Kwesi, ever get to, did he bring anything to his seminar about the King Thutmose the second that they found in the tomb last week?
Well, he did answer your question on the air. I don't know if maybe you were off to the next thing, but you could go listen to it just like you could listen to any of our podcasts for free, wherever you get podcasts, or you can just go back to the YouTube from that day, because he did respond to that question. It wasn't part of his presentation, but he did respond to it on the air.
Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. Maybe he had it at his presentation there over there. Hey, Dominique, one more question. The reparation bills that they're passing here in California, you know, down south, Alabama, Mississippi, Florida, all down that way, they just try to keep it simple and put what they can forward. Do you think the California reparations program here with all these bills that they try to get passed is just something to keep the money going for different organizations here in California to pick up the money just to do the research on it, and they're leaving it at that?
I mean, look, there are, I think, about 8 reparations-related, somewhere between 6 and 8 reparations-related bills this session. Some people have accused one or two of them of doing that. There's one that would send money to universities to study what the scientific basis is for determining lineage, determining eligibility. So that could, some people may see it that way. And again, we did a whole show on this Friday, and we're going to do a part 2 this Friday. For Freedman Friday, we have the renowned scholar Anthony Browder. But directly after that, our 8 to 9 a.m. hour, we're going to continue to unpack those reparations bills. They're all coming from different lawmakers. They all do different things, and a lot of them do not have money attached necessarily. So they're all chipping away at 1,200 pages that was outlined in that report and the recommendations that come from that, which is huge.
Yes, because you know this Scott Turner, he's the Secretary of Housing for HUD.
Mm-hmm.
Black folks could use some money if they put that program together where, they talking about fab housing, fab housing and affordable housing. They manufacture homes and you get a piece of property. And if you got a housing voucher, you could be a homeowner, but nobody ever gets to second base. So,
well, yeah, I wouldn't hold my breath on this administration.
So what is the solution, Carl?
Well, reparations would be one, because right now, I just keep my bills paid, and that's about as far as I'm going right now.
I mean, didn't Governor Newsom apologize? Or wasn't that enough, or is there more you're looking for?
Yeah, I'm looking for cash compensation.
Okay.
And apologies don't do nothing for me. I had a black eye before, and I seen, hey, apologies don't do nothing for me. I need to be compensated.
Yeah, I think we're all on that same page. And the Black California Congressional Black Caucus has said it's a work in progress. One of the things that I find encouraging is that one of the bills is meant to stand up a bureau, and that's one of the steps that has to happen if we are going to get to cut the check.
Well, we'll see. I'm glad that they did revisit this and revisit it a lot sooner. Well, they said in the next session that they would bring some legislation back and some discussions. I know a lot of folks in community didn't have a lot of confidence that would actually happen.
And there's some fair critiques of what has been put forth, which, as I said, you can find that wherever you get your podcast. All the Freedman Friday shows are there. We started talking about, but there's some good stuff. So, I mean, at least I'm happy they did something, that they are moving forward with it, even in these tough times. Feels like a bit of a missed opportunity, because now we have to deal with Trump about everything. And Scott Turner, the former NFL player who's now HUD secretary, he promised to fix the housing shortage, but now they've cut HUD staff, I think, in half, and they're cutting funding. So I'm not quite sure how that's going to allow him to fix the housing crisis.
Well, it's so complicated with HUD in that they can't target a specific area when they're using federal funds. If they're going to make the funds available for housing,
they can't. You mean they won't?
Well, they have to make it available in all voting
If President
precincts.
Trump wanted to do an executive order, who gonna check him?
Well, I mean, not all his executive orders are just
legal.
Yeah, so
that's not stopping him.
Well, when has that ever stopped him? But we hope that the things that need to be stopped, right, are stopped, and things that help people are able to move forward. But the HUD, the federal thing, funding, and how that gets down to the actual in community. If they're going to build housing in South LA with federal money, they're going to have to build housing in the Palisades, in Brentwood, in West LA, and
unless
so forth.
they had decided to do an executive order, i.e. we're in a state of emergency. Our city has been declared to be in a state of emergency by our leader, the mayor, because we have a housing crisis and an unhoused person's crisis.
Well, I'm waiting for you to ask the Donald on your show. So whenever you
he's
have,
been invited. You don't think we invite Trump?
I don't know. I mean,
yeah, of course. I'd love to interview him. Crickets. I mean, it's hard to interview people that have a very loose relationship with the truth, but I'm willing to try it.
Actually, those are the easiest people to interview. You just let them lie and just correct them. Don't argue.
Nah. In real time, if you correct that dude, he's gonna. And there's so many alternative facts flying that it's often hard to do it in real time. You've seen the moderators, anyway. Let's go to Keith calling us from LA. Hi, Keith.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Welcome.
Hey, listen, I've got a couple questions. I'm going to ask the first one, then hopefully you give me the opportunity to ask the second one. But the first one is that I thought that Kamala did a great job in her acceptance speech of the award at the NAACP Awards, in that she laid the blueprint for the things that we can do nationally, as well as locally. And so I just want to know what you guys felt about that.
Well, Keith, I'm going to let James give you a brief answer. I'm going to say this. James has never had one single positive thing to say about the vice president. Every opportunity he gets to get on the mic on my show and talk about Kamala Harris, all he does is trash her. And he's written an article doing pretty much that. So I really wasn't trying to open up the space for that to happen today, because I think if you're really concerned about America, we need to be looking at how to navigate where we are right now. But go ahead, James.
Well, first of all, your reflection is completely off. I don't trash.
I've been sitting here. My reflection is what I hear.
I know where you've been, but that don't mean that you're present with what the truth is. I've never trashed Vice President Kamala Harris. I've had an opinion. I've had an opinion.
Me and your wife agree on this, and you don't agree.
Well, you know what? There are many things that I will never win in either of those spaces, but what I will not accept, I didn't trash her. My opinion was, okay, sis, you were on brand, but I was utterly disappointed because really, Dominique, I know we're going to get short on the time, and it's a fuller answer.
No, go ahead and give the short version, and then, yes, you can ask your next question.
Yeah, the short version is she totally ignored black folks in that area who were hurting from the devastation of the fire. She didn't acknowledge not one time black Altadena fire victims. She gave a patriotic speech that could have played at any other campaign rally, any other generic DNC talking point.
Got it. But what I'm saying, and it would have been nice for her to address Altadena. She's got a lot on her plate right now. She's probably, going to be running for governor. She's got people like you that want to just trash her and judge her, as opposed to trying to figure out how we can deal with the current administration.
She might have lost 20-something thousand votes. I don't
know. But she never gained one vote from people that listen to you, because I have not heard you say one positive thing about the vice president ever.
That's not true.
Well, I haven't heard it.
That's not true. It's been on this program. You've heard what you wanted to hear, which is not me co-signing Vice President Kamala Harris.
I'm not trying to have you co-sign her.
But where we disagree, when the vice
name one thing that you admire about her that she's done that you think is positive.
I think she has given a positive example for black women, for black girls, for my daughter.
That's the best you could do.
What do you mean? Is that the best I could do?
I'm looking for policy, politics, she's a black woman role model. Okay. All right, Keith, you see what you did there? We'll continue this conversation after news, traffic, and sports on KBLA Talk 1580.
More of First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
I'm Bree Wood with 4 Things You Should Know with BIN News. The White House says the war in Ukraine could end this week. Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt expressed confidence in the negotiations ahead of President Trump's meeting with French President Emmanuel Macron. President Trump is firing the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. On Friday, the president announced he'll be replacing General Charles Brown Jr., the second black general to serve in the chairman's role. Trump says he is nominating retired Air Force Lieutenant General Dan Raising Kane to be the next chairman. A lawyer for Sean Diddy Combs is requesting to leave the rap mogul's legal team. Anthony Rico says he respectfully but regrettably asked to be dismissed from working on Diddy's federal sex trafficking case. And Universal Studios is revealing new details about its resort set to open in Texas next year. It will feature lands based on Shrek, SpongeBob, Minions, Jurassic World, and more, with attractions like Shrek Swamp and a Minions Water Play Zone. Get BIN News on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
If you or someone you know is affected by the Los Angeles wildfires, you are not alone. No matter how sad, scared, or heartbroken you feel, CalHope is here for you and all those affected by the devastating wildfires. Find free, safe, and confidential mental health support at calhope.org.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The UCLA and USC women's basketball teams continue to stay on top of their game. UCLA, ranked 3rd in the country, won a close game Sunday at Iowa, 67-65. Alina Arnasalo sank 2 free throws with 3.8 seconds left in the game to seal the win. Lauren Betts had 22 points, 12 rebounds, and 3 block shots. USC got 22 points from Juju Watkins to hold off Illinois 76-66. Next up for USC is a rematch Saturday with UCLA at Pauley Pavilion. Congrats to UCLA men's basketball coach Mick Cronin. He earned his 500th career win Sunday in UCLA's 69-61 win over Ohio State. Cronin is in his 22nd season as a college head coach. The Clippers had a tough time in Indiana without Kawhi Leonard and Norman Powell. They lost to the Pacers 129-111. The Clippers are at Detroit tonight. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
There's new reaction following the Trump administration's sweeping efforts to cut the federal workforce.
Fired but not forgotten. The Testimony Project. Bearing witness, breaking silence, building community. KBLA Talk 1580 is committed to amplifying the voices of black federal workers impacted by the mass firings. Rooted in the black tradition of testimony, this initiative ensures that those who served us are not erased from history. Through firsthand accounts, investigative storytelling, and community-driven dialogue, we intend to expose injustice, preserve truth, and demand accountability. If you or someone you know has been forced out of federal employment due to the mass firings, please contact us at info@smileyAudiomedia.com or via the open mic feature on the KBLA 1580 app. We want to hear from you and share your story. KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black.
If you're living with dry age-related macular degeneration or dry AMD, you may be at risk for developing geographic atrophy or GA. GA can be unpredictable and progress rapidly, leading to irreversible vision loss. Now there's something you can do to
slow it down and get it going slower.
Izervay is proven to slow GA progression.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Izervay or avacincaptad pagel is a prescription eye injection used to treat GA. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may temporarily increase eye pressure. Your vision may be impaired after an eye injection or exam. Don't delay. Ask your doctor about Izervay today.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Visit Izervay.com. That's IZERVAY.com.
Yeah, yo, come on.
At KBLA Talk 1580, we fight the power every day.
Yeah, gotta give us what we want. Gotta
give us what we need. Hey! I listen to KBLA and I love the commercials. I know what the commercials mean. I also, if I'm looking and trying to figure something out, I need something to talk to me that might hit me. And it happens on TV because, every time they show a sporting event, they got the pharmaceutical companies back to back to back telling people how to fix the sickness on the same stuff that they sell them. So we get it.
Yep, we get it too, Chuck D. And that's why at KBLA Talk 1580, we don't black down.
Drop it! Our freedom of speech is freedom of death. We got to fight the powers that be. Fight the power! Fight the power! Fight the power!
Who cares about the black community in Altadena? We do. On Saturday, March 8th at 10 a.m., it's the premiere of Conversation Live, Altadena Rising with James Farr. This new weekly show will explore the deep roots and resilience of Altadena's black community as we track its recovery and reimagine its future. From relief efforts to rebuilding, we're raising up voices, stories, and solutions to build back Black Altadena better and stronger than ever. It's Conversation Live, Altadena Rising with James Farr every Saturday at 10 a.m. beginning Saturday, March 8th with an encore presentation, Sundays at noon.
James Farr, the man who is the voice for Black Los Angeles.
At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black. Thanks for waking up with Dominique DiPrima on KBLA Talk 1580.
And yes, congratulations are due, James. Friday Jones is in the chat, the YouTube chat, wishing you congratulations on your new show. We just heard the promo for it.
Thank you, Friday. Thank you.
It's a go. And Keith, you know, over here stirring the pot. By the way, if you want to hear the complete analysis by James, it's on laprogressive.com, right?
Right now, LA Progressive, it's out. Just click on my name and it's the first article that you'll see.
So, Keith, did you want to build on what we were saying, or did you want to go to your next question?
Well, you and I are on the same page, actually, and I'm so excited to hear what James has to say in this upcoming show. But I do have a little bone to pick with you, Dominique. And that last week on Valentine's Day, you said that you were available and you were looking for the next boo in your life.
Yeah.
And I sent you a DM.
Oh, dang, Dominique. That kind of bone to pick. Well, no, I was out.
I'm gonna step out of that.
Yeah, because James, you were the one that was really stirring the pot. Well, yes, that's true. I am, and actually, I don't know if you noticed, I was not in that Monday, so I ended up doing nothing for Valentine's Day except for working on my self-care. Mm-hmm. It was self-care Valentine's this year.
Well, there is an opportunity for you to change that narrative for next year. So it's going to take a while for it to get there.
All right, so James, we'll take this.
I left you a DM.
James, we're going to have to take this conversation with Keith off the air.
I didn't start this conversation. And,
yes, you did.
No, I didn't.
You just don't remember.
See, there you go again, making stuff up, Dominique. It's not.
Roll tape. Let's roll the tape.
Yeah, I mean.
All right, Keith. I appreciate the DM. Absolutely, I do, and that's going to keep that direct message and not general messaging.
Well, I think Keith sounds like someone that believes Vice President Harris can do nothing wrong.
That's a really shady analysis too, because those of us who have supported the vice president and wish she was president right now, are not without. I do. Okay. Or not? I didn't say. I said those of us who have supported. I wasn't including you in that.
Well, the support is not what I'm questioning. I'm saying, is that what we really wanted? Because again, going back to what I heard Saturday night, I don't want the emptiness.
And that article of your critique, your ongoing critique of the vice president, is available on laprogressive.com. So we're not going to chew up all my airtime with you talking smack about the vice president. Okay. You can get that
former vice president.
They keep those honorifics for life. Absolutely. We still say President Clinton. So, but no, you want to reduce the vice president.
No, I'm still called commissioner in Pasadena, so I get it.
Well, obviously you do. You're a journalist. You're just diminishing the woman.
No,
that's exactly what's happening. Keith, thank you for stirring the pot.
Thanks, Keith.
You're welcome. Have a good day.
Appreciate you. I see he's a professional pot stirrer. Yeah, but you're going to be updating folks on what's going on in Altadena, Pasadena. Of course, we'll continue to do so on this show as well. It's one of the things that is really important to me, I think, no matter where you live. And I do think it would have been lovely if the vice president would have mentioned that.
That's all we're saying.
Well, not quite all you're saying, but what about I talked about this when you weren't here. But what about the communities being so upset about where this debris goes now that they're hauling, they're starting to remove at a pretty rapid pace this toxic waste from people's where their homes were?
Well, it's the neighboring communities, right? It's the neighboring cities that have the refuge centers and the dumps and whatnot. So they don't want it. It's just something that we're going to have to deal with, right? In those neighboring cities, that's going to be a county issue, a state issue, and obviously we can't count on the federal government. With them saying that they're not going to really do a lot of remediation and abatement and things. So it's
when you say they're not okay. So the county said they're going to clean up everybody's property after the Army Corps of Engineers gets off the stuff that's considered toxic. I did read that the Army Corps of Engineers, this is according to the LA Times, is not going to test the soil
right
the way we would expect them to do so. And so they're just going to take off however many inches it is and assume it's all good, which is weird to me. They are saying that they don't have the budget to do all of that testing. Is that what you're referring to, or is other remediation?
No, that's exactly what I'm referring to. And you and I both know that the budget is not the issue, right? This is the federal government. They can print money, so they can afford the resources that are needed. It's really concerning that they will consider allowing people to potentially move back on top of very, very toxic and contaminated soil.
I mean, they can print money. And we know that the federal government right now is not in the most cooperative hands. But it surprised me because it's not just we're not going to test, where the black people live. They're saying the same thing about Pasadena. I mean, about
Palisades. I think it comes back more to a liability thing. They can't necessarily. They're looking to be indemnified if we don't test it. You move at your own risk.
But they tested it. They tested the Camp Fire. They've tested, other big fires. They're saying they're not doing it because they don't have the money. Excuse me. I understand that you don't buy that, but
no, we got money for war, but can't feed the poor.
But I have a feeling that's going to change. I have a feeling they're going to end up.
I hope
because
so.
I could see if it was just Altadena. Well, let those black folks get diseases from living on toxic dumps.
The other side of that, Dominique, is that if they do that, which is necessary, it delays the amount of time that it's going to take. So again, this idea that everything's going to be back,
right? Because they'd have to test every single property, and then if any of those properties still has toxicity, they're going to have to remove even more debris, and that flies in the face of the pressure from the community, from the feds, to speed up the process. But do you want to move back onto toxins
right now
and subject your family to cancer or asthma or whatever else?
Right now, people want to be home, right? They want to be in a place that's not there anymore. You know what I mean? And so
I get it.
This idea that we're in a recovery is not where we are right now. This is a relief process. People need resources. They need to be housed. They're having to adjust to new commutes, new neighborhoods,
new everything.
New everything, right?
Build everything.
I'm with it, and that's what people want. I love that spirit about Pasadena and Altadena, but the reality is, Dominic, when you see the devastation, we are a decade or more from anything resembling what people once knew.
Okay, the official estimates that I've seen say anywhere from 2 to 5 years. Why do you say a decade?
We have the Olympics coming up. Mm-hmm. We already have a strain on supply, right? We already have a demand for building. We have a demand in another region, another town in LA County. And so just that alone,
when you say demand, you're talking about builders and supplies, and
workers, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it could take you a year to remodel a kitchen.
Some workers are currently being deported.
Right. I mean, but let's pause on that. A year or longer just to get through permits to remodel your kitchen.
Yeah, but all that stuff is going to be sped up. I mean,
that's what they say.
Yeah, well, some of it has already been sped up. I mean, if you look at how quickly they've been able to start getting the stuff cleared, it's sped up compared to other fires.
That's easy. Demo is always faster, right? In construction, knock something down,
but
it's over.
We'll take speeding up in any aspect of the process, right?
Little to no confidence in the commitments that have been made by our elected to our campaigning.
City, county,
all of them,
federal. So again, this is tough, and I do think it's going to be a long process. But I also do want to give some credit where credit is due. I mean, the fact that the county has stepped up and said we're going to pay for all these lots to be cleared is a good thing. That's saving those homeowners. They're not even homeowners. They're lot owners now.
Mm-hmm.
That were homeowners. It's going to save them thousands.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that our mayor here in Los Angeles, who is not the mayor of Pasadena, Altadena, or Malibu, has been helping to consolidate resources that are coming from a lot of celebrities, including many black celebrities, and making sure that gets funneled to Altadena. I think that, even though it was a very rough visit, the fact that the president did at least go to Palisades, and it seemed to change his attitude ever so slightly. And I think Gavin Newsom's doing a good job, and Karen Bass is doing a good job walking a tightrope, because they are constant critics of Trump, and rightfully so, but they've got to work with this administration to rebuild these cities.
I mean, I don't doubt their capacity to do it. It's sometimes like, when Mayor Bass was with Trump and she said, he's 24 hours, she said 18 months. I don't think that was advisable for her to say. I think she should have.
I think she didn't say it's going to be 18 months. She said it could take up to 18 months. He said 24 hours. Move them back onto the toxic dumps. Let them get cancer. Let them get, asthma or whatever. Obviously, the reality is somewhere in between. And you can, it's easy to sit here and Monday morning quarterback the mayor when you've got one of the most powerful men in the world belittling you in front of the world and intentionally trying to belittle you even more than he does to the others. Catherine Barger, mm-hmm. supervisor over that area, who is a Republican, and a white person. So obviously he's going to be more friendly towards her.
Absolutely. I mean, I want Mayor Bass to succeed. I think the misspeaking on it, and it's not a critique in the moment.
If you want to hear critiques of all black women politicians, tune in on Saturdays to James Farr.
No, what she did was give Caruso ammunition.
Caruso he lost for mayor.
He did.
There's nothing you can do that's not going to give him ammunition.
I'm rooting for Mayor Bass.
Hard to tell.
I absolutely am.
In any case, James, I'm going to ask you the same thing you asked Keith, and we can talk about it on the other side, which is, what is the solution? Because we were talking off mic, and we need to get into this too, about where these resources are going that are being donated. How do we track them and make sure it's all not a big grift and that the actual families get this money? There's that. You're critiquing all of the electeds, and it's easy to critique electeds because a lot of them, are less than perfect. But there's a lot of good things being done. So what is the solution? Beyond pointing the fingers and saying these people are grifting and these people aren't doing enough, what do we need to be doing? How do we make this better? That's what we'll talk about when we continue. James is in it. He lives over there. KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580 is an intervention. When we come forward, includes you. KBLA Talk 1580, turning pain into power.
We ask seniors how to prevent Medicare scams.
My best advice, if you get a phone call, do not talk to the person. These people are well trained. Don't talk to them.
They don't know me. They're just trying to scam me.
Don't be fooled. Hang up. Just hang up.
Never give out your Medicare number.
They're going to get your number to put in a false claim.
If I get a call from someone, I don't pick up the phone. And should I pick up the phone and they ask for information, then I hang up.
How do you detect Medicare fraud?
Just like I check my credit card statements, I check my Medicare statements monthly.
Scammers can get a hold of your number, order medical devices through your account, and you're not even going to know about it if you don't look at your statement.
Check your statement every month.
If you get your statement and you see something that you know you did not have done, you report it.
Call your senior Medicare Patrol.
To report Medicare fraud, call the Senior Medicare Patrol at 855-613-7080.
The California Crusader newspaper would like to thank all of our subscribers for their support throughout the years, proudly serving the South Los Angeles and South Bay areas for more than 40 years. The California Crusader is a multicultural, black-owned, adjudicated newspaper that focuses on providing newsworthy information to the people in our community. We're constantly looking for ways to assist businesses in our community to connect with our subscribers. We provide low-cost, effective ways to promote your business with our reasonable and affordable advertising rates. You can participate by suggesting, sharing, and submitting your stories on the California Crusader newspaper Community Share Facebook group page, or visit our website at cal-cruise-news.com. That's calcruisenews.com. Then click on the Submit Now button located on the top right corner of the homepage, or text CCN to 42828. Again, text CCN to 42828. The California Crusader newspaper, working together to build a better community for our future. Subscribe today.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. The Los Angeles Regional Food Bank is on a mission to fight hunger and provide nutritious food to those in need across our community. They partner with federal, state, and local programs advocating for better policies and funding for critical hunger relief programs like Cal Fresh, the Emergency Food Assistance Program, and the Child and Adult Care Food Program. The food bank works with coalitions and local representatives to make sure hunger is addressed in every district of LA County. They also run nutrition education campaigns, raise hunger awareness, and source nutritious food for distribution, all while supporting regulations that allow food pantries to operate safely. Want to help? Visit lafoodbank.org or call 323-234-3030 to volunteer or find a food bank near you. Together, we can ensure that no one goes hungry in Los Angeles County. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Broadcasting live from Leimert Park, USA. Welcome back to your home for unapologetically progressive radio. KBLA Talk 1580.
One thing we'll say about James Farr's brand new show, The Conversation Live, Altadena Rising, which will be Saturday mornings at 10. After Black Lives Matter, this is not a drill. It won't be boring.
It won't be.
I won't even be there to argue with him. But
you're welcome anytime.
Oh, thank you. Well, then maybe I will be there sometime.
Absolutely. You could get this smoke on a Saturday, and we'll switch seats. Right?
Okay, yeah, I'm here for that, because then I can just sit there and critique and point fingers.
Sure.
Yeah, and you can go, Dominique, that's not what we're talking about.
Critique the work, though, not me. Critique the article, right? Mm-hmm. Not me.
Critique the black women, not
the work.
Got it.
Okay.
So, what is the solution? What do we do? I mean, you're pointing the finger at city, county, and federal officials, and we talked off air about concerns that the literally millions of dollars that well-intentioned folks are donating may not end up with the organizations that are doing the real work or the individual families that actually had their homes destroyed.
Right.
So what do we do?
Well, the solution right now, people are in a relief phase, right? And so they need cash. They need money to settle, right? We need a mortgage moratorium. Folks don't need to be paying a mortgage, right, on two different, and rent. Folks who were renters need some relief, in order to get first and last and get permanent housing. Some folks need transportation, right? Their cars are burnt out, right? Cedric the Entertainer gave out 10 cars over the weekend. But in terms of these legacy type organizations that are capturing this money, money that comes in through these television programs and award shows and things, it's not necessarily trickled down, because again, you have white folks in the middle of it telling black and brown people what they need, how they need it, and what they should be doing in order to receive it, right? Then there's the issue of who really needs it. I mean, did you lose your house? Did you not lose your house?
Right. So I was talking to a friend that lost their house, and they were saying that they have something called a verified, at least for insurance companies and mortgage companies, that they have something called verified losses. I don't know how that works for renters, though. Well,
you're talking about, residency, right? So if I'm just couch surfing, or I'm living with my aunt and I've been staying there for some time, it's genuinely my home. I've lived there. I contribute to bills. I do everything. My name isn't on a bill. My name isn't on a lease. My name isn't on anything. Well, you're technically unhoused. Go to that line, right? That's a whole different concern for that type of renter, or someone who's assumed ownership of the home, but the house hasn't been transferred. The title isn't clean.
How common is that?
It's very common. The tax assessor, I'm looking forward to talking with Jeffrey Prang about that in one of our upcoming episodes as well. Like, people really have to watch out. So it's a good thing that the county tax assessor is saying, post January 7th, now there's a title change initiated. Let's pause on that. Let's look at that closely. But there is an opportunity for vultures and predators to come in, and grifters to kind of separate people from their properties.
I hate that, because it seems to be so common with disasters and such. But what can we? I know I've said repeatedly, give directly to a verified GoFundMe. Mm-hmm. That's one way, right?
That's certainly one way.
That doesn't help that renter who's couch surfing.
Even the GoFundMes trigger different things with insurance and relief and stuff. So, we do know neighborhood servants who we've supported here on the station, Pasadena Church, who we've supported here on the station, and Pasadena Community Coalition. I know the work that they're doing.
Right.
And
so donate to well-regarded ones. But look, I figure if the family put up a GoFundMe, they're going to have to deal with those tax consequences anyway. Mm-hmm. So if you go to a reputable place like Black Lives Matter Grassroots, or the LA Mutual Aid Network, those lists are there.
Yes.
Of the verified black GoFundMes, because there are some fake ones.
Oh, definitely. The grifting is real. We're in a disaster economy. We're in disaster tourism. I can't tell you how many Sprinter vans I see around the community now. Folks, literally, it's like they're piling out of them like they're clown cars, right? Taking pictures, surveying, flying drones. They're there.
Why are they doing that?
They're prospecting.
Okay, I gotcha.
Yeah.
The LA Times reported that $30 billion losses from the fires is what they're saying now. Wow. When you count, everything they say, from old mobile homes to $23 million mansions, from the Palisades and Eaton combined, $30 billion.
Wow.
And the tax revenues that the government stands to lose is at $61 million annually.
Wow.
While those houses are being rebuilt.
Wow.
So, speaks to what you're saying about, we're hearing official estimates 2 to 5 years, and you feel more like it's going to be a decade.
Minimum.
We really don't have time to dive into some of the other things I wanted to talk about, but I know some folks are staying, you said, in their cars. People are in campers in their own driveways or properties. Folks are talking about pitching temporary housing, tents or whatnot on those burned out lots. Doesn't seem super safe. Thoughts?
Definitely not safe, but it may be the only choice that some folks have. And that's the sad thing, right, is that they have to overexpose themselves. Many of them elders, right? Many of them don't have the immune system to even fight off a common cold, let alone be exposed to, toxic chemicals.
I mean, are folks on their properties now with mobile homes? I know a couple people have told me that they've spotted that. I haven't seen it with my own eyes.
Some. I mean, it's spotty right now.
Because you would think that, at least once the land was cleared off, you'd have a better chance of being safe.
It's spotty right now. But again, Dominique, we're talking about 11,000 structures.
Yeah.
An entire town burnt to the ground.
So terrible. Yeah. And they are starting to sell some of those lots.
Some people are going to have to sell, Dominique, and what we have to do is not bastardize them, right, and shame them because they're in a financial situation any of us could be in, right?
Yeah, for sure. There was a report in Realtor.com that the first Altadena home that was knocked down sold for $100,000 over its asking price. So again, yeah, you're right. You can't really shame people for doing what they feel they need to do for their families, but I wish they could sell to black people and build back blacker, as Martin Gordon said. Congratulations once again, James Farr.
Thank you.
And I'll be tuned in
Please
on
do.
Saturday,
Please
March
do.
8th, for sure.
Please do.
It's going to be a great show. Conversation Rise, Altadena. Conversation Live, Altadena Rising. It's a great time to call me. We've got Mindful Monday, then Conversation. All that straight ahead, only right here.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Bree Wood with 4 things you should know with BIN News. The White House says the war in Ukraine could end this week. Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt expressed confidence in the negotiations ahead of President Trump's meeting with French President Emmanuel Macron. President Trump is firing the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. On Friday, the president announced he'll be replacing General Charles Brown Jr., the second black general to serve in the chairman's role. Trump says he is nominating retired Air Force Lieutenant General Dan Raising Kane to be the next chairman. A lawyer for Sean Diddy Combs is requesting to leave the rap mogul's legal team. Anthony Rico says he respectfully but